Good evening, everyone. This is a meeting of the Milpitas Energy and Environmental Sustainability Commission. Tonight, we have not been able to have a quorum of attendance of commissioners, so we will be having an informal meeting, but we will be reviewing the following the agenda. We won't be having a vote on any items. So we won't be handling that. If you could join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Elaine, would you like to do a quick roll call?
Sure. Chair Sexton.
Here.
Commissioner Hogg.
Here.
Commissioner Lingle.
Here.
Councilmember Chua.
Here.
And then I think that's it.
Okay. So since we are not voting, we'll skip over the approval of tonight's agenda and the approval of the last December's minutes. Elaine, in a situation like this, do we do a public forum or skip that?
I don't see any members of the public, so
okay,
we can move
on. All right. Let's move on to announcements then. I wanted to give a summary of the Silicon Valley Clean Energy Community Leaders Meeting that Commissioner Lingle and I attended back on December 6th. So this is a quarterly meeting to allow Silicon Valley Clean Energy to provide information to residents on what their programs are. And what the future planning is. So at this meeting, they covered 4 items: the status of REACH codes 2.0, the effort and planning going into that. And that is, let me go ahead and cover that before moving on to the second item. Silicon Valley Clean Energy provides support to all 13 jurisdictions in Santa Clara County that are members of Silicon Valley Clean Energy. To approve REACH codes. And for those of you who don't remember, REACH codes is basically building codes that move us towards lower emissions faster than what the state's building codes are doing now. The state building codes, the Title 24 codes, are revised every 3 years, and they do become more clean in terms of energy emissions. But many cities in California are moving ahead and applying more stringent codes, and that's why they're called REACH codes, to get our buildings to reduce the emissions faster. So Silicon Valley Clean Energy has provided in the past REACH code support for all the cities, and Milpitas. I attended a couple of meetings a couple of years ago when they attended and provided information. 10 of the cities adopted REACH codes, but those REACH codes expire at the end of this year. So 2022 will be another year of reviewing additional REACH code proposals in all the different cities. And so Silicon Valley Clean Energy is providing support to do that. And Elaine, I don't know if you can provide any more information if there's any schedule for the city of Milpitas at this time.
There is a kickoff meeting with municipal staff later this month, and I do believe that Bill Tott and I will be participating in that meeting. So we will keep you posted on the schedule once we have one.
Okay, great. And the second item that was discussed was the PG&E proposed rate changes for electricity. And they were expecting one rate change to occur in January and another in March. And I don't have an update on that. I just know that, you know, they were still sort of discussing with the, you know, all of the, both the district transmission and distribution entities, which is for us in this area, PG&E, all of the CCEs, and for us, it's Silicon Valley Clean Energy. And of course, the state regulators, the California Energy Commission and the California Public Utilities Commission would be discussing the new rates. And, you know, unfortunately, it means that normally rates go up. And so taking action to make our homes more energy efficient becomes even more important as the rates go up. The third item that was discussed was the Silicon Valley Clean Energy decarbonization programs. And you know, Silicon Valley Clean Energy, Milpitas is a member, and Councilmember Chua is our city's representative on the Silicon Valley Clean Energy Board of Directors. So thank you, Councilmember Chua, for handling that responsibility. The SVCE has done a really good job in their objectives and the reason that they exist, and that is to represent Milpitas, provide ways to give us access to clean energy, and also provide a lower electricity rate for the member cities, and then provide programs to the communities to achieve lower emissions. And so their decarbonization priorities that they've decided for the next quarter is to focus on multifamily tenants being able to have electric vehicle charging access, because that's something that definitely has been lacking. And also more emphasis on phasing out the use of natural gas. So they are, I think the schedule is to, for the first quarter of this year, to provide the program information to the board of directors and get approval, and then the planning and implementation then will start later in the year. And then the fourth item is the equity framework. So they're really concerned that the adoption of clean energy has been lagging in certain demographics. And so they're focusing on being able to develop ways to address the fact that there are some communities that are facing really large barriers for decarbonization. So they're trying to develop ways to address those barriers, because 100% participation is needed for decarbonization to occur. And so that's the priority that they'll be working on. The slides for the meeting are available through Elaine. I forwarded the slides to her. So if you have any questions on that, you know, please, I don't think we have time to do a discussion on that, but certainly additional information is available. But while I'm doing the announcements, if there's anything really important, at the top of
Patty,
your head.
Commission Chair
Yes.
Sexton, even because it's an announcement item and not on the agenda, you actually can't
Oh,
really have a discussion.
thank
But I
you
will
very
note,
much for that. That I thought there was a reason that I'm like going, no, we probably, so.
yeah. But I think we do have SVCE. We will have SVCE come to a future commission meeting. So this is good at kind of teasing that up.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So are there any other announcements that we should cover at this point? Okay, then let's go ahead and move on to our business items. The first item is Earth Day 2022. This is the start of our planning, and we sort of had to not have Earth Day 2020 and not have Earth Day 2021, but we were able to do a little bit of online Earth Day information. Keep your fingers crossed that we will actually have in-person Earth Day in April of this year. The COVID peak that we're experiencing right now, or surge, hopefully is peaking, and by the time April comes around, we should be in good shape. And I say that with sort of a lot of hope, but not 100% certain. Elaine, do you have any comment on that particular aspect of Earth Day?
Yes, we're starting to plan kind of at the staff level as well. And we'll be talking more with my team tomorrow. I think one of the things that Tony and I have talked about is the solar and backup battery projects at the senior center and community center will be done. And we're looking at possibly and probably aligning Earth Day and kind of a ribbon cutting and potentially tours and information on those projects, and doing if we are able to do an in-person event, of doing one outdoors under the new solar panels. So
that is a great idea.
I think that will be fun. We can definitely, then we don't have to worry so much about the elements and being exposed, and still can be COVID safe one way or another. So fingers crossed we get to do that. I think we also want to use it as an opportunity to celebrate and recognize all of the recent energy efficiency projects as well that are being completed through our ESCO project. So
yes, that would be
definitely
great.
show
Like
off the solar, show off the
that.
batteries, use those as a way to encourage folks to be interested in doing them on, exploring those on their own homes. Probably a resource fair, tables under the solar panels, and then recognize, we're finishing up with all of the smart meters for smart water meter conversion project. We should be finished converting all of the street lights to LED. So I think there's some really cool things to recognize having accomplished this past year as a city, and then kind of how that bridges to what folks can do at home.
Okay, that would be great. Well,
and then you can also have information on the smart energy strips, and have a table and share that information at that event too.
Okay. Would it make sense to try to involve some other organizations like we have in the past, or with the COVID situation being uncertain, maybe I have no idea whether those organizations are willing to say, yes, we'll be there, or all that. But I do know that for Earth Day, typically without COVID, there is a huge number of requests to organizations such as, the Master Gardeners Program, or, even Valley Water, or, all of the organizations that are on the topic of Earth Day or sustainability. And so
I think we can
really
have
get their commitment early.
A small group of resource tables. So we'll reach out to the definitely the folks that we had at the Earth Day event we did at the library now 3 years ago. It was 2019. So that included like Silicon Valley Clean Energy, I think
Sunwork was
stormwater pollution
there.
prevention, Sunwork was there. So yeah, we'll definitely see if we can have a modest resource fair presence.
Okay, sounds great. Any Commissioner Lingle, do you
Yes.
have a suggestion?
Well, let's see. I'd like to get just a little bit more background. Okay, so so Earth Day is Friday the 22nd. Is our celebration going to be on that day, or is it the weekend
No,
after? Weekend before?
we're actually looking at the weekend before, April
Okay.
16th.
All right, great. Let's see. Just talking about the whole aspect, all the aspects of coordinating with other groups. Is there a deadline where we need to make a decision on whether this is going to be a web-based event or live? What's that deadline like? I would think that it would need to be made to allow time for any collaborators to actually get videos and stuff like that ready. So do we have a sense of when we have to actually make that decision of going live?
I wish I could predict the future, but I think we're going to try to be optimistic and plan for an in-person event, and then
Sure.
shift if the pandemic situation changes abruptly. And
Yeah.
just you all probably know that at the beginning of this year, the city did shift and went back to virtual city services for this month. So we're monitoring the situation. We're hopeful that Omicron is retreating now, and that by April we will be able to be in person. I think planning an event in person and outdoors is probably the safest thing we can do at this point.
Indeed, indeed. Yep. Okay, so we're going to just play it by ear until maybe, or we're going to certainly shoot for face-to-face all along, but we're going to play it by ear, and depending on what is it, maybe mid-March or maybe even early April, we finally make that decision of yes, we're going to stick with face-to-face. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think that's the best we can do.
Okay.
I think typically an event like this would be in the morning, like maybe 9 a.m. to 12 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Now, how about any other suggestions for Earth Day? I mean, I really like the under our new solar panels and the tours. For the Earth Day 2020, we had talked about having some residents bring their electric vehicles to show to others. Now, 2 years later, I mean, electric vehicles are, of course, much more prevalent. So, do we still think that that would be of interest to our residents?
I do. I'd be willing to, go it again. Yeah.
Okay. Elaine, do you think that there would be space to under the solar panels to park a few EVs for display?
I think so. Yeah, we'll definitely take that down as something to plan for, and then we'll work out the logistics on where those can be.
Okay.
Plus now we have, electric vehicles in our city fleet. So we have at
Oh,
least,
yeah.
we have some Nissan Leafs and some Prius Prime plugins that we can also include. So
Yeah,
I think
great.
if we keep it to, 6 to, I don't know. Let us look at the logistics and see how much space we have to work with,
Okay,
how many vehicles we can have.
okay.
Good.
Great. And any other ideas for activities, given that the audience for this event is going to be, basically children through adults, I mean, all ages. It would be great to be able to engage the very wide range of ages.
Well, a suggestion would be certainly, speaking of that, connecting to the high school, Silicon Valley Youth Climate Action, just to see if there is, coordination opportunities there with, clubs at the university or at the high school. That'd be great.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think, and they probably are not any longer, the elementary school that is closest to the Milpitas Community Gardens up in the Sunny Hills area. I think that elementary school used to have a, few beds in the community garden, but I always love it when kids are into gardening. But I fear that at this point in time, they probably haven't been able to maintain those garden beds. So, but it really would be nice to have something sort of gardening related for kids. I don't know what that is. I think we talked about, doing sort of like little things like giving away little tomato plants to encourage kids to grow them at home and stuff like that. But I'm not sure what would work.
Yeah, what we've been thinking of, it kind of is a go-to, thought process, having something centralized. And this is where, with the solar panels and all that stuff, it's fantastic. It's like, okay, we want that, definitely. But do we want to, perhaps decentralize any of this? You speak of, gardening over at Senate, they have a garden. It was, built a while ago. I don't know what kind of plans Senate has for their garden, but maybe there's something we can, coordinate and have, an activity there. Another idea would be to, Elaine, I've been talking to you a little bit about, food trucks in parks. Again, what we want to do is inspire folks. Everybody's working from home. Everybody wants to go out. I wish there were food there. I have a park nearby. I can walk up there, but I never go out there during lunch because there's just nothing there unless I bring my own lunch or cook something there, on the grill. What about a food truck park event where you get one food truck at each park, or maybe a couple of parks, and basically announce that and invite folks to get out of their house and come out.
Commissioner Lingle, sorry, I'm trying to understand the connection to the Earth Day event. You mean
This would be
on the Earth Day event, or?
Yeah, this would be on the Earth Day event, and that's what I mean. It kind of flies in the face of a centralized event. This is a little more distributed. If you don't want to, come down to City Hall and all that for the event, just come on up to your local park, and enjoy some time in the park.
Hmm.
It's a thought. Because again, like I say, if in order to entice, one way to improve our footprints is to stay out of our cars and work from home. And it's already working. I do it all the time. And one nice aspect of working from home is the possibility of going up to the park. And so again, this is one channel, one chance to I don't know, play into that connection with your neighborhood park.
I'm not sure how the food truck thing would be able to be worked out, but I do like the idea of having the Senate Elementary School provide some information. So if you can, find out whether they're interested, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Chua, your hand is up. I'm sorry, could you unmute yourself?
I've been doing that lately. I've been talking and on mute.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
It's just like the commercial. Work day or whatever. work day said you're on mute or something.
Yes, I have seen that.
Anyway, so really good feedback from everybody. So I was thinking, because we did approve the ADU revised ordinance for more ADUs to build in Milpitas. I was hoping that we can get a space where we can have volunteers there to talk about, maybe from housing or I'm just throwing this to you guys, that can talk about ADU construction and legalization of ADU unpermitted ones, which relates to a sustainable ADU. Like how would you build your ADU that is more efficient, or using electricity instead of, you see what I'm saying? Like suggestions, because we now have app soon about ADUs, and if we can have people there, we can get volunteers from the housing or planning, maybe talk about how to build ADUs or make unpermitted ADUs permitted, with the thought of making it sustainable, something like that. I don't know if I'm clear. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, what is an ADU?
Sorry, that's accessory dwelling unit. It's, the granny flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you saying, Councilmember Chua, to have a table that would provide information about Milpitas's new ADU process?
Right. Yeah, I think that would be great. That would start talking about, and then we can get into anything that will introduce them to electrification and decarbonization and greenhouse, something like that. And I heard about having plants. I can email you and connect you with the greenhouse, the Green Thumb ladies of Milpitas. So if you need some suggestions, so I will email Chair Patty.
Thank you, that would be
and
great.
Introduce you to the president of Green Thumb Garden Club.
Wonderful.
And they would love, they've been asking me to do something, and I think this would be perfect. Right? So, okay.
It certainly would be. Thank you. Yes, I look forward to that.
And also maybe another, I mean, think about this, because we have a lot of incentives. And maybe if we have somebody demoing, what are the incentives, like what we have, all those incentives that we have, and somebody can just talk about it, maybe a commissioner or I volunteer. So that's another table maybe.
Yes, like the water,
Incentives.
yeah, water incentives, water conservation incentives, because that's really, those
And
are good.
also I have a task list, an initiative or recommendation to create a page, a link that all of these incentives will be there, everything from or anything. So it will be hopefully soon by the time we roll to April 16. And even if it's not live, we can always talk about the incentives that we have.
Mhm.
So I think that's it for now, but everything else we should be good.
Okay.
Exciting. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Chair.
Councilmember Chua. Any other ideas? This is the time to get your creative energy going, and just have a go at it, because it's not to say that everything that we discuss here we'll be able to do, but this is sort of a brainstorming session of how do we, as Milpitas residents, how do we want to celebrate Earth Day that began in 1970, so 52 years ago, and how do we want to celebrate it and encourage the participation from other residents?
A little bit more. Again, there are around the bay, and again, I don't know what the plans are, all around the bay, but around the bay, in the Bay Area, there are a lot of companies that are, out there basically, contributing to and figuring out, how to build businesses around sustainability. And you'd be surprised how many there are. They're just small startups or medium sized, and I wonder if could we reach out to some of them and invite them to set up a booth or be there just to speak to their their company. So that's one thing. The other is again, with our Milpitas Waste, it would be great to have a representative there speak about, how train us all on how to actually deal with plastics in your trash can, because it is there's quite a science to it.
Yes.
And also, what is happening, there in the recycling, process, how things are changing to, improve, getting more out of the landfill. So, a representative there would be great too.
That would be great. Elaine, do you think that Milpitas Sanitation would be able to attend and have information more specific to plastics?
Yes, yeah, I think we can plan on them being there. And then also we have our solid waste team, me, Ben, and Alan. So we'll have, we'll have between city staff and MSI staff, we can have a presence that addresses that.
Okay, great. All right, so we will be able to get that one covered. Okay, so I'd like to move on to the next topic, which has it sort of covers a bit of Earth Day, and that is our commission project to provide free smart energy strips to city of Milpitas residents. So a few days ago, Commissioner Kong and Councilmember Chua and I met, and unfortunately, Commissioner Lingle, I'm sorry that your schedule didn't permit you to attend, but we did do training on the smart energy strip. And so what I'd like to do, Councilmember Chua recommended that I sort of do a 5 to 10 minute demonstration, pretending that, I'm at the table and inviting folks to come over to learn about how to save energy and money. So I've put together, just drafted some very preliminary signage. And so I'm looking for input. If you saw, this is one of 2 signs that, and of course, I would need some professional help to make it more presentable. But this is sort of the idea of the information to, as people are walking by the table, to try to get their attention for them to come over and ask questions. So this is the one slide. Milpitas residents can get a free smart energy strip. Right now, we're thinking, limit 1 per household or address, and limited availability, basically. And I do have, and let's look at one more, the next slide. So this would be the second table signage. So the topic is, and I'm looking for feedback, because this could be, not very interesting, but I've titled it Vampire Slaying. So what we want to do is find and eliminate vampires, or electrical vampires, that is, not the blood-sucking kind, in your home. And so the tagline there is, if you eliminate 100 watts of vampire load in your home, then you'll be able to save about $260 per year to do that. And of course, I added some fine print as to what the assumptions are, 30 cents per kilowatt hour, and do the calculation to show that it does come up to $262 per year of savings. Okay. And, hopefully signage like that will cause people to sort of say, I want to learn more, and come to the table where we'll be able to tell them, ways of doing that. And so if we can now start with, before doing the last 2 slides, I'd like to sort of pretend, if you can go back or take the slides off, Linda, and just show me. So I'm going to demonstrate. I pretend that I'm standing at the table, and I've waved at you and said, come on over. I can tell you all about this. And I'm sort of holding up the smart power strip that you've seen in the signage. And I say, hey, this might be able to help you save money at home. And I want to tell you how to do it. So I'm showing you one of these things that, it comes in a package that looks like this. And this is what we've received funding from Silicon Valley Clean Energy to purchase these to give away. So I have put together, that's what it looks like. But when you actually use it, and you're going to have to use a little bit of your imagination here. Here I have the smart energy strip that I've gone ahead and labeled. There's actually, this labeling information is actually on this edge, but I've recreated it so that you can read it easily. So what I've done is shown that there are 3 types of outlets on this power strip, okay? And a regular power strip is great. And actually, to me, I prefer a regular power strip, but there are a few situations in your home that you might find a smart power strip might be more acceptable, okay? One situation would be, and instead of plugging in a TV here, I actually just have a little light bulb to signify the TV. So we can plug a TV here into the control outlet, all right? And then over here, I can plug in a variety of things that might have a vampire load. And a vampire load is something that you turn it off and you think, great, I've turned it off, it's not using any more electricity. Well, you could be wrong. because some things, some electronics, when you turn them off, they still suck a little bit of electricity out of the wall. So we call those vampires, and really we want to get rid of them. Okay. So, and I'll tell you how to find them, but if you have some vampires, and here are typical things that could have a vampire load. It really depends on the manufacturer and how that particular device was designed. Okay. So potential vampires could be a DVD player, a sound bar, a game console. For a home office, a potential vampire could be monitor, printer, or speakers that you have attached to the computer. So let's talk about the living room first, the entertainment center. And here I've wanted to explain that over on this side, there's just for convenience sake, there's two always on outlets. And this is just out of convenience. So these work just like a regular outlet on a power strip, right? Nothing special about these. These over here are special. So now I'm going to show you how special they are. So I'm going to turn on the power strip, and you'll notice that this, the regular outlet, will light up. There's a small light bulb in here. I had to put a shade on it because it was just too bright. So if I turn this on, you'll see, oh, hang on a minute. I got to turn on something else. Sorry, operator error. Let me go over here and turn on another power strip. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry. Okay, so I've turned this on, and you can see that this has this bulb has turned on. Okay, so this is getting electricity, but over here, nothing over here is getting electricity yet. Okay, so what I do is, if this were the living room and I have my TV plugged in here, I'd be able to use my remote control and turn on the TV, and then turning on the TV allows anything over here plugged in and any of these three outlets over here to be able to get electricity and turn on. But if I turn off the TV, wait, this is still on, but after 4 seconds, it turns it off, because the smarts in this power strip is that when you turn the TV off, a few seconds afterwards, it knows that the TV is turned off, and then it cuts the power to everything that's plugged in over here. So you get rid of the vampires over here. Okay, so it's really a very good way of saving electricity that's really just a waste, because if you have this stuff over here using electricity and the TV is turned off, well, gosh darn it, why are we paying for electricity when all of these things, the only time they need to be on is when the TV is turned on? Okay, so that's the way a smart power strip works. Now, like I said before, a regular power strip is great because if you happen to have a vampire load on your TV, and certain TVs, not all of them, but certain TVs do have vampires, then a regular power strip will be able to cut the power to all of that, including the TV, and you'll be able to save the wasted energy on the TV. But some people will say, gosh, you know, in my living room, you mean I'd have to get up off the sofa, walk across the room to turn the regular power strip on and then go back and use my remote control? You know, that seems silly to do. Or in the living room, because I have to get access to the switch on the power strip, that means that all the plugs, the wires are visible in the living room, and that kind of looks messy. So when you use a smart power strip, you can plug everything in. You can tuck it away behind the furniture. You never have to see it or touch it again, because you're controlling the vampire loads with the remote control for your TV. Okay. So your question is, I know the next one is, how do I find out if I have any vampires? And this is how you use the power meter, and that takes me to what Commissioner Lingle wants to do, is to let everyone know that the Milpitas Library has these do-it-yourself energy savings toolkits that we can borrow. We take our library card in and we can check out a toolkit. Just like a regular library book, we get to take it home for 3 weeks and use it. That toolkit has one of these as well as other tools, but it also has a whole bunch of supplies like a couple of LED light bulbs, some gaskets, some low flow shower heads and water faucet aerators. You get to install all of those in your home to save energy and water. And at the end of 3 weeks, you return the tools to the library and they'll restock it with more supplies for the next person. So, and it comes with a great, easy to follow instruction guide, but you use one of these in your home to basically plug this into the wall. You plug in each item that you think might have a vampire to the front, and you can read how many watts it's using when it's turned on, because that's always of interest, you know, how much electricity is it costing to run certain things. But turn that item off. And if the display doesn't go to 0 watts, then you found a vampire and you know exactly how many watts of vampire that you have. And you can go around the house checking on all the different items. And it's actually not difficult to find about 100 watts of vampire in your home. And so a smart power strip is one way to handle it. A regular power strip is another way to get rid of vampires, as well as, you know, the regular time of day timers that we have that might be helpful. Could be just a simple on-off outlet switch like this. So it's just a mechanical switch that if it's easy to get to the outlet, you can do that. Some people, they say, I don't need that. I can just unplug it from the wall and plug it in when I want to use it. And that works very well too. There's other things like this. This is a socket timer. So it has 30 minutes, 3 hours, and 6 hours. So this will control something being on for a specific duration of time, and then it cuts the power after that, and you get rid of the vampire load. There are also Wi-Fi enabled outlets out there. So there are just so many different ways of controlling your vampires that, you know, the choices are out there. But the very first thing you have to do is to find your vampires, because you might find things that you thought, oh, I should leave this unplugged. But when you measure it, you may find that it actually has 0 vampire load associated with it. And that way, you know, it's fine to leave it plugged into the wall. It's not causing a problem for you. Okay, so that is my spiel in terms of trying to get people to, you know, understand where they might be using or wasting energy at home. And then we can then say, hey, we'll give you one of these smart power strips. All you have to do is fill out a little survey so that we'll know that you have a good reason to be using this, because you go, oh, yeah, I do have, you know, an Xbox, or I do have whatever. And oh, by the way, the kids keep forgetting to turn off the Xbox when they turn off the TV. So, you know, there's all sorts of reasons that this might be helpful. So now we can go back to the 3rd and 4th slides that show what the survey might look like. And again, this is just a draft. I'm looking for input, and Elaine also has some great ideas on how to ask questions. So, you know, here it is. You know, we ask for their name, their email address, or a phone number to that they receive texts on. And what we would do is confirm the email address or phone number by sending a quick confirmation email to them with a code or a text. And then when they receive that, then they'd write the confirmation code in to the form. They can check off, I am a Milpitas resident, and, maybe we'll ask them for their address, or, maybe not. That's sort of a question mark there. And then to check to see whether they understood or they learned something from the demonstration that they just received. They can say, okay, I plan to use my smart energy strip with these devices. So they could write in, my computer with my printer as the item that may have a vampire load on it. So, they can sort of get their plan together as they're talking with you. And then space for saying, okay, I'm also concerned about this energy use in my home. So, Elaine, do you have some additional ideas of what to put on there? Sorry. Elaine, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. Since I'm sharing my screen, the controllers are in different, the buttons are in different places. So yes, I was hoping to kind of use the survey opportunity to also explore other incentives or perceived barriers for other electrification actions. So things like, perceptions about induction cooktops, EVs, or other, climate action that we're looking to promote going forward, so that we can better message and address any barriers so that we can encourage more participation going forward. So just some thoughts around that. I do recognize we want to keep the survey rather short, but I think it's a good opportunity with the Smart Strip incentive to really kind of get some meaningful information that can help us design programs going forward. Okay,
great. Yeah, I think that would be very helpful. Can we look at the next slide, which is the back? Since we have, a sheet of paper, it's great to make use of both the front and the back. So maybe we can put in a QR code for people to get more familiar with the webpage for Sustainable Milpitas. That would be one idea. A QR code for the library catalog item that someone can make a request to borrow do-it-yourself home energy savings toolkit. And by the way, these toolkits are provided by Silicon Valley Clean Energy. And then maybe another QR code, or provide the URL. There's actually a YouTube video on how to use a smart energy strip that is put out by the manufacturer of the brand that we're looking to obtain, which is Trickle Star. So, other resources like this would be a good use for the back of the page, which the resident will take home, because after they fill out the front of the form, we'll take a photograph of that, so that we have a record, but they also have a record of what they said they're going to do with all of the resource information on the back of the page. So I'm looking for sort of additional ideas to go here.
Great, sexting Councilmember Chua has her hand raised.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you very much, Councilmember Chua. Please, we'd like to hear your ideas. If you could unmute yourself.
Correct. Okay. That's a good one. It was fun when we had that a few days ago. One of the ideas that I was thinking, and I brought this up with Chair Patty, is to do a dry run, meaning Chair Patty or anybody in the commission would present this idea to the different commissions. What we're thinking of, like having a contest, maybe 3 representatives from each commission, and we will time it, like we will have like maybe a month or 2 months, and whoever gets the highest what do you call that, the vampire, highest number of watts that they reduce will win. It's the total of the three participants. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah, so you will, Chair Patty, I can go with you if you want, or the other commissioners. You'll present this, but we have to shorten it, really simple. We just focus on the power strip and very easy. Then we will get like 3 participants in each commission, and then we'll start the contest like for 2 months and see who gets the most energy. I mean, the most, I guess, the
Vampire reduction.
vampire reduction, the number of watts reduced, and that would be the winner. And then see the commissioners, they're the people, they're the residents of Milpitas. Who best could market this? You guys, you the commissioners. Then we have at least 9 commissions, and why not? I mean, I think it's going to be fun. So that's one thing, one idea that we can brainstorm more, and we don't have to buy the one that reads the how many what is that thing from the library? We can borrow that. And
Oh, yes, yes. The
Chair
power
Patty
meter.
said there's about 80 of those in the library, so that's good.
I do know that before COVID, these could be borrowed separately. You didn't have to borrow a whole kit, but I've noticed that I don't see the separate item on the library catalog anymore. So I have no idea where those, 70 to 80 individual power meters went off to. But of course, there's, I think maybe there's at least 20 do-it-yourself kits that are spread out amongst all of the Santa Clara Valley Library System locations, which of course, they move books and things like this from library to library, depending on where the demand is.
Okay, I think that's it. So we have a lot of things to talk about there. Just by listening to you guys, and I just thought of something, because we have the ADU corner, that we have everything there, ADU. So I was thinking, why not an energy corner? So think about what we can put in there.
Yeah,
So
definitely. And
I can bring that up.
I would be happy again in a further while to offer the training again of, and I'm sure you can do it better than me.
No, you're the best.
To demonstrate the use of a smart energy strip, so that we can sort of when everyone feels comfortable to go to different locations, different commission meetings, or through Zoom or whatever, and of course the tabling at different events to do this as we look to distribute the smart energy strips. And Elaine, do you want to give an update on where I don't think we have a date yet as to when those smart energy strips are available, right?
No, not yet. I'm waiting to hear back from the head of sales with the manufacturer. So I don't anticipate it taking long. Once we confirm, and I'm able to connect with them, but haven't heard back yet.
Yes. In the meantime, I do have a few extras for my work purpose that I'd be happy to loan out to you if you want to give it a try in your own home. I'm happy to do that. So contact me, and I can leave one at your doorstep for you to play with.
So for the council, if I may, for the council report, I just want to share with you one thing, most important thing. The council approved the commissioner's gift, which is it's like a sweatshirt, but I think it's an appreciation from the council to all the commissioners. So hopefully you get that soon. That's all.
Thank you very much. So actually, we're right into the city liaison report. So any additional reports
The senior center pilot opening, Saturday senior center open, it has been approved as well. And the park champions has been approved. So those are just a few. And that's it. Thank
Okay,
you
and
all.
I did notice, Elaine, that a new newsletter for the sustainability newsletter for January came out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're trying to have an issue every other month.
Okay, yeah, so that it looked really good. Lots of great water saving information.
Great, thank you. For staff report, I don't have anything. Tony, do you have anything? No, you're shaking his head. So I think that's it for tonight.
Okay.
Stan, we do have a member of the public. If you want to let Mr. Mehta just talk for a tiny bit, he did raise his hand after the public comment.
I see. Sure. Let me first of all check with Commissioner Lingle. Did you have a comment? It looked like you were.
Yeah, just real quick. Let's see. The aspect of QR codes. I really I'm starting to get a lot of going to restaurants and stuff. You kind of get an appreciation for those QR codes. Just a reminder at Earth Day, if we can have, because everybody's walking around, and they kind of want to do their own thing. You don't want to always have to catch them and talk to them. Let's put up the QR codes to point to, all of those websites that speak to, the different incentives and all that. We could use, QR codes to inform folks who are just walking by. A lot more effectively than posters and stuff like this. It's a little more sticky on the phone. So just a point about that. That's all.
Yes, some people may be a little shy going up to talk to someone in person, but they're very happy to use the QR code to find to get to the link quickly and read up on that topic. So yeah, good point. All righty. Linda, if we could have Mr.
Actually, I'm sorry, Commissioner Hogg has his hand up too.
Oh, sorry, I missed you, Commissioner Hogg.
I just wanted to agree with Commissioner Lingle there, because everybody's face is buried in their phone the whole time they're there anyway.
Absolutely.
QR codes are the perfect answer.
Yep, not nice, big, easy to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're going to be sitting there tweaking on their phones all day anyway. So might as well let them look at some sort of energy saving thing, right?
Exactly.
Agreed.
Good. All righty. Thank you very much for that comment. Linda, is Mr. Mehta willing to join us?
Yes, I did allow him to talk.
Great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Linda, for the opportunity, for the consideration of as a public speaker. I wanted to thank the respective chair, vice chair, and the commissioners of the city of Milpitas for the opportunity to speak. I wanted to mention about what is to be a forthcoming as a part of a developmental city of Milpitas. First, there is a climate action change plan that is to be placed. And as a part of a climate action change plan, what Milpitas City development as a new advanced transportation system is to develop. I requested the city staff, Marshall, to put the meeting request as a part of a placeholder so we can present that to the commission. Also, I wanted to mention about what commission's development as a part of a city of Milpitas metro plan development could be. First, the commission is required to be registered with the California Fair Political Practice Commission and as well as the Federal Election Commission as an official registered commission to the city of Milpitas. Second, as a part of any funding that is being allotted to, that is to be reported to the California Fair Practice Commission as well as the Federal Election Commission. As a part of what forthcoming development to the city of Milpitas could be considered, is to have a greenhouse vegetation and celebrating the United Nations International Earth Day as well on April 21st. As you know, what city staff as Marshall mentioned that, it's going to be celebrating probably a week before. Also, I wanted to mention about what county's development is upcoming to the city. From January 1st, 2022, SB 1383's implementation is in place. So that is something forthcoming as a part of development to the city of Milpitas. One more development that is ongoing is a smart water meter project. Still, there are communities which is still, there is a water meter is still to be installed. I request the commission to consider that project and overview the development of the same as well. Thank you very much for the consideration of comment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mehta. Appreciate your comments. I believe, Elaine, you were going to put a special meeting together for the CAP update review for our commission. So we look forward to seeing that. Yes, on that. Okay. Commissioners, any other comment? Council member? Well, thank you very much for your time tonight, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a great evening, everyone.
See you later.
Bye-bye.